Yo, you know what time it is. Another good reaction video. Guys, I just failed miserably to play Yandere Simulator, so look forward to seeing that. Trust me, it is a mess. It is the messiest video of Yandere Simulator you will ever see. I've watched people play Yandere Simulator, but I've never played it myself. I did not know that it actually required cognitive function. And I was pleasantly surprised. Anyway, probably not gonna do that again. But what I am gonna do is take you guys to some Daycare stories too by Let Me Explain Studios. Have I ever watched their videos before? Absolutely not. But I'm gonna try it, okay? Because I know that it's gonna be great. So if you guys are ready, let me turn this off. And jump right in. Hold on. Oh, dang it, I twirled the wrong way. Okay. Whatever.
Oh, good evening, my geeks and peeps, my explainers and entertainers, my little oodle-ollies.
Aww.
You're just in time for tea. You know, the last time we were sitting at my dining room table, we were talking about daycare stories, right?
Yeah.
Well, who doesn't love a good sequel? Let's jump back to the good old days of making daycare staff miserable. If you remember that last video, you'll remember that my sister Rachel and I went to this daycare together.
Adorable.
She was with the big kids, I was with the little kids. But the two of us had been going to this particular daycare literally from infancy.
Yay.
So the staff knew us. And we both had reputations. Rachel's nickname at this place was Rocky because she would start fights with older kids who were being mean.
Dang!
While when I was about 18 months, I would go up to other kids just learning how to walk and
push them over?
Oh! Nothing maniacally.
I knew it.
Listen, I got my devil tree out early. You best be thankful that I'm a good witch of the woods now. A typical day of daycare for the Parham sisters started early in the morning getting dropped off by a parent. And the experience was very different depending on which parent dropped us off. See, Rachel and I didn't like that our parents were leaving us. Frankly, we weren't that thrilled being left at daycare to begin with. But we knew to keep that sentiment to ourselves whenever Mom dropped us off.
Ooh.
She was incredibly no-nonsense, and our tears and screams would do nothing to sway her. She'd just drop us off and sashay herself out the front door without looking back. So we learned that
screw them kids.
Her heartstrings couldn't be played on. But if Dad was dropping us off...
Okay.
There's a game that both kids and adults play. When little kids play it, it's called dig in a random spot and hopefully find something. When adults play it, it's called Minecraft.
Yep.
Digging in dirt or sand to a kid, it's magical. Mostly because of the slim chance that you might actually find something. But there were two main things that we were all digging for as kids.
Watches?
Say it with me. Buried treasure and dinosaur bones, which makes archaeologists and paleontologists adults that never outgrew it. I caused some major property damage at daycare once by digging. You want to hear about it? Of course you do.
Yeah.
One day, two kids and I were playing outside in a secluded, shady part of the playground around the back of the building. A spot conveniently difficult for the adults to supervise. The three of us were happily digging away in the dirt when, gasp, we actually found
a mole?
something.
Was it an animal? I bet it was an animal.
That's the best thing about the positivity and the optimism of kids. It doesn't matter what you found while playing this game, you still felt like Indiana Jones. And the three of us were thrilled that we had unearthed the rare and elusive water pipe.
Oh no! Bruh. No, these guys are gonna break. These guys are gonna turn off the school's water. Oh, Jesus Christ.
Museum! But the moment the three of us walked away for just a second, leaving our dig site unprotected, a random boy saw the exposed pipe in the ground, picked up a big rock, and...
Bruh! Why would you do that?
Took all the blame. And they had to shut down the water at the daycare for a few days to get it fixed. However, this next story, I absolutely got caught in the act, and I'm pretty sure it's one of those universal childhood experiences. 'Tis a dangerous and often hilarious thing the first time a child figures out that hair is meant to be cut, and scissors are meant for cutting. We all put two...
Why was I thinking dentist, bro? I don't know.
The two together real fast.
Oh, no.
Those craft scissors and our school supplies.
No.
There was only one incident I tried to cut my own hair as a kid, and it was at daycare. Of course, it happened during arts and crafts.
I don't remember cutting my own hair too often. I guess I've tried a few times with clippers and scissors alike, but nothing that actually did... Nothing big. I have, however, cut someone else's hair, and that's... Why is there a trans flag in there? And that is a whole nother story that I am not telling today, so back to the video.
I don't remember what we were making, but it involved scissors, and the person who was supposed to be watching us made the fatal error of
leaving you alone.
For just a second.
Oh.
Because that was all the time I needed.
One ponytail.
My hair, raised the scissors up, and...
Cut yourself?
BECCA!
Oh.
Don't you even think of... The daycare worker took me to the staff room to sit in timeout with her. A wise thing, not leaving me alone to my own devices.
Good.
She sat at her desk writing down this little incident in my report card. Snitch. Well, I had to sit in a chair and not move. But every time another staff member walked in, this lady would say something like, "Hey, do you want to see what happens when Rebecca tries to cut her own hair?"
No! No!
Okay, Janet. I don't recall asking your opinion on my hairdressing skills, but if we're gonna start playing the shame game, I'm gonna let Kid BECCA have the floor.
You think my hair's bad, but you paid someone money to make you look like that.
Ooh!
If you let me do your hair, it would at least be an improvement.
I don't get paid enough for this.
Yep.
And I don't get paid anything to tolerate you, but here we are.
Ooh! Mrs. Parham.
Okay.
Yes, it's Rebecca again.
Mom, I saved you money on my next haircut.
Dad!
I didn't actually say any of that.
Oh.
Man, I wish I was a fire-breathing roast lord back in the day. Then maybe I would have become an actual stand-up comedian instead of an animator pretending to be one. Did you hear the one about crypto?
My friend, I think you're doing just fine being an animator. I mean... I think you're doing fine. I think you're doing just... Like, I don't see anything wrong with that, personally, but hey, the stars are the limit, my friend.
So as I've said before, Rachel was in a different group than me, and we had different activities, so we didn't always get to hang out with each other. But one day, while I was innocently playing with my fellow little kids, an adult plucked me away from whatever I was doing, and sat me at a table with Rachel far away from the rest of her group. It was unmistakable. She had purposely been isolated from the other kids.
Dang, racism.
All right, what did you do? You haven't confessed, have you? Demand an attorney, they can't prove anything.
What actually happened was the staff had planned an activity where each kid was given a glob of peanut butter that they could sculpt into whatever they wanted. And the best part was that they would eventually get to eat their creations.
Good.
The problem was, ever since childhood, Rachel has been deathly
allergic to peanuts.
Seriously, it's a 911 call every single time. She's that sensitive. I once opened a particularly potent jar of peanut butter, closed it after just a few seconds, and when Rachel walked through that area a minute later, her eye began to swell. So naturally, Rachel was not going to be allowed to play with the world's deadliest substance to her.
Yep.
Instead, they gave her some Play-Doh and made me come play with her so she wouldn't be alone.
Makes sense.
Wow, that sounds like such a wholesome sisterly moment, huh? Am I right?
Bruh. What?
Right?
The Spartan?
Mm-hmm. Hey, Kid BECCA, it's a wholesome sisterly moment, right?
Officer, I've never met this girl before in my life.
Dang.
Also, I should have peanut butter. Hey! Don't you try to drag me down with you.
I did sit there the whole time playing with Rachel, just very angrily. But when the activity was over and Rachel was far away, they eventually gave me a little spoonful of peanut butter for my trouble. But oh my god, what an absolute brat, right? Never mind that it's a life or death situation where you could have one less sister by the end of the day. But hey, listen, I was not always inconsiderate of my sister. Sometimes I was very helpful.
Ooh.
You all know about Smarties, right?
Yes.
Not the good kind, the American kind. The bishop on the
Wait, there's a good kind? I mean, I like Smarties personally, but if there's a better kind out there, then...
You all know about Smarties, right? Not the good
ew, they made it of chocolate. Man, I don't want that garbage. I like regular Smarties.
kind, the American kind. The bishop on the chessboard of loser candy. I will hear no arguments to the alternative. Well, this daycare was no stranger to giving out candy as the occasional treat. And one day, Rachel apparently had gotten her hands on a pack of them. The two of us were in nap time together when she rolled over and whispered,
I don't care what you... Girl, there ain't no... I didn't think that people dislike Smarties. I mean, they're just a little generally tasty chalky candy. It's like having really concentrated sugar. But it's not actually as much sugar as you think it is because you can't really put that much inside. Like, bruh, Smarties are like the purest candy ever. You can eat them without feeling guilty because they're low calorie. You can give them to your kids without feeling guilty because they're low sugar, won't make them bounce off the walls. And they're so simple. They're so nice and simple and plain that you can't go wrong with Smarties. And they taste good because they're candy. Like, duh. They're like Pez, but they actually don't have some weird tangy taste to them. And they're so easily packaged that you can just throw them around everywhere and everyone will have a good time. It's like, I can't imagine not liking Smarties, bruh.
Guess what?
What?
I got a Smartie stuck up my nose and I can't get it out.
No!
Now, as a bright young child with plenty of potential to eventually maybe one day be smart, I had a perfect plan of attack for the occasion.
Shove your fingers up there.
I got a stick.
Oh!
We stuffed random things into our pockets as kids, and apparently I had a stick that day.
No.
Whatever you do, don't move.
No!
I shoved the stick up Rachel's nose to try and get the Smartie out. And as one would imagine, a stick is not the most effective nor sanitary tool for such a job. So all I accomplished
the fingers
was pushing it further up her nose.
Oh, that sucks. That sucks.
This may turn into brain surgery soon.
Yep.
Just as I thought the Smartie could go no further up Rachel's nose, a daycare staff member walked by and was treated to this cheery sight.
What the heck is... Oh, okay, now I get it. She pushed it so far back that it just jumped into her freaking throat and she swallowed it. She literally pushed it straight down her... Is that the larynx? Definitely the larynx. Into the esophagus, and now it's gone.
Hey, wouldn't you know it? That little extra push caused it to dislodge and fall down the back of Rachel's throat.
Yep.
Well, there you go. Crisis averted.
You know, my dad used to tell people that I was smart enough to be a doctor. I think he was lying. Alright, explainers, just one more thing. There are only a couple days left to pre-order the BECCA doll and the new pen set. These are very limited edition items. We will not be making them again. So link to the store in the description below.
Hello, BECCA.
Alright, explainers and entertainers, I appreciate you having some late night tea with me, but I think it's time I hit the hay. Thank you so much for tuning in, but now I gotta tune out. Bye!
Why do you want to offer me a boyfriend? What? I mean, should I do decor stories? Should I do daycare stories? I mean, it's only been 12 minutes. I can do daycare stories. I'm gonna do daycare stories. Hello.
Oh, hello, my geeks and peeps, my explainers and entertainers, my little oodle-lollies. Rebecca Parham here. So,
Hi, Rebecca.
did you know I was a daycare kid?
Yes.
Probably not, because I've never mentioned it before. Makes sense.
I went to
Mom and
daycare
Dad were both
as well.
working parents, and leaving one's infant at home alone is generally considered problematic.
Yes.
Now, I know it might be hard to believe, but I haven't always been the pinnacle of refinement
Why
and
would you,
maturity
Anime?
that you see before you today. No. As a kid...
Hold on. Actually, on that note, has anybody ever tried to shave their legs? That stuff is freaking hard. I can see why people decide to wax. Like, I tried once. I tried to shave my calves once when I was in basic training, just because I had nothing better to do. It was basic training. I mean specifically the calves. I didn't go over that, just the calves. And I could not freaking do it. I spent 20 minutes just going at it, and it looked like I didn't go anywhere. Like, where does all that hair come from? When I look at my calves, I don't even see that much hair. It was only when I tried to shave it that I thought, where's the hair coming from? I don't have this much hair. Okay, let me stop.
I was a bit of a rascal. For example, the box story. Now at this daycare we had a big playroom.
I'm not lying, by the way.
There was a dark little alcove.
I don't understand where the hair is coming from.
And one morning during playtime,
what
I
the
noticed
frick?
someone had left a large box there.
Why is that
big
guy
enough
just...
for a child to hide behind. Now there's a concept that I call kid logic, and it's basically just a name for that randomness that kids possess, or the absurdity that is their reasoning sometimes. For example, when I saw that box, that's when my kid logic
Jump in!
And I said,
I'm gonna hide behind that box for as long as possible and see what happens.
Oh.
This is a great idea.
Yes.
When the adults weren't looking, I slunk behind the box and crouched down, hiding myself entirely. I must have stayed there for half an hour before playtime ended, and they ushered all the kids away to a different room for a new activity.
She's just there.
And funny enough...
Just there. Look at, she's just there. Bruh. Anybody else play peekaboo with their parents in clothing stores? When my mom and I were in clothing stores together, and I was like, I don't know, somewhere between daycare age and kindergarten age. I think it was daycare age before kindergarten. I was 5 when I went to kindergarten. Yeah, this was definitely daycare age. And we went to a store. They always had those racks, those little circular racks, clothing racks. I would jump right in the middle of those and just wait until she notices. And then she's just in the store yelling for me. I'm just sitting there like, she'll never find me. And then eventually she had to just start opening them up to see which one I was in.
The adults were none the wiser. I was gone.
I've beat the system.
Now this is what gets me. It took an hour of me hiding before an adult came back to the room and visibly began looking around for something.
Boy.
Couldn't imagine what it might be.
Now where did I leave that small child? Must be around here someplace.
Really?
I peeked my head up over the edge of the box to watch, but that proved to be my undoing.
She saw you.
I was spotted.
I've been compromised.
I got in big trouble for that, of course. I was clearly not good at getting away with things when I was a kid, as you'll see in the next story. Now, one time at this daycare, they brought in a whiteboard, and you were only allowed to draw on it with adult supervision.
Exactly.
Okay, I won't draw on the board.
Or
Instead,
will
I stole a
you?
green dry erase marker when no one was looking and proceeded to decorate my face.
God dang it, okay.
I didn't break the rules. They specifically said don't draw on the board. They said nothing about my face. I put the marker back and walked away, but was promptly spotted by an adult. Becca, did you do this to yourself?
Duh.
No.
And who did it then?
Did somebody do this to you?
Yes.
Bruh.
Who
Becca, why would you do
Oh,
this?
sheesh, I hadn't thought I had that far. And I honestly didn't even think to blame another kid. Instead, that good old kid logic kicked in, and I came up with the most foolproof story that was sure to get my hide out of trouble.
I'm gonna say a thief broke in, scribbled all over my face, and then jumped out. That's what I think she said.
I was minding my own business looking for something to play with, and then the markers came over and marked on my face.
What? God dang it, Becca.
I will never understand how that daycare worker kept a straight face, but off to timeout I went.
Ah.
So, what are you in for? Disrupting the status quo? Whoa, I stuck gum up my nose.
Something
Makes
I haven't
sense.
mentioned yet is that my sister Rachel also went to this daycare, and because she's 2 years older than me, she got to be in the big kids program called the Superstars. And I was so jealous that I took to calling them the Stupid Stars.
Ah.
Extra crispy on that burn there, little Becca. But one thing that will always be a significant memory to me is the day I discovered that the Superstars
2 years older? What ages is this daycare? What? Daycare is like from ages 2 to 4, right? So Becca was already in primary school then. Unless she was 2. How do you remember that? How do you remember any of this? This must have been one of those curious daycares. One of those I didn't even know there were daycares that accommodated kids that were over the age of 4. I thought that was it. I thought after that you had to go to school. Maybe 5? Yeah, because sometimes if you start school really late, or you have a birthday really late, then they'll push you into the next year and force you to stay back. But I didn't know that people... The earliest that I can remember is 4. I don't remember anything before that. And most people are usually the same way, so either this girl is some kind of genius, or this daycare is weird.
had a Nintendo.
Ooh, Super Mario
Or
Bros.
yet, they had Super Mario Brothers. And that, my little oodle-ollies, was the first time I ever saw a
Oodle-ollie.
console video game. I thought I was looking at magic.
You were.
And that became the only thing I ever wanted to do at playtime was go over to the kid area and watch them play Super Mario Bros. Don't you dare tell me that gamers aren't real entertainers. I was watching people play video games long before the pliers and Septicais and D-Pies of the world made it a thing.
Exactly.
So when playtime was over, the daycare staff had to pry me away, kicking and screaming from that TV set. One day, however, I came up with a brilliant idea. When they pulled me away from the big kids' corner and sat me down with the other little kids, I proceeded to scream and cry that I miss my big sister.
Makes sense.
And nothing was gonna console me except being allowed to be with her in the big kid area.
Exactly.
I guess the adults didn't know what else to do, so they actually let me go back over.
Holy Crayola, that actually worked.
Sure enough, I made a beeline for the Nintendo. Screw you, sis, I got video games to observe. It didn't take long for an adult to catch up, and I was eventually pulled away again. When I tried the same shtick,
it didn't work.
They gently said, "Becca, you say you miss your sister, but every time you go over there, you just watch them play video games."
Yep.
Okay, maybe they had me there. Not gonna lie, that's a pretty solid accusation.
Alright, grown-up, I'll concede to you this time. But one day, I'll be grown-up.
Yep.
And I'll watch all the video games I want.
Exactly.
Don't you mean play them?
No! We're gonna watch people play video games, god dang it. That's what I've been doing. I've played like 3 games on my channel. And the only games that I play besides the ones that I do on YouTube, those 3 little games that I played on YouTube, is freaking Pokemon. That's it. I don't watch other people play Pokemon. I play Pokemon. But I watch other people play everything else because I don't play that, okay?
No. Now I've saved the best story for last. Even when I started kindergarten, there was no escaping this daycare. Because one of the services they provided was picking up children from my elementary school and taking them back to the daycare where the parents could pick them up later. So every day, I didn't get picked up by a parent or get on a normal yellow school bus. I waited for a big white van.
Oh, whoa, what the frick?
That sounds kind of nefarious now that I say it out loud. But yeah, Rachel and I would wait for the van, pile in with the other kids, and go wait to get picked up at the daycare. And this was a routine my kindergarten teacher knew. She was a very good teacher and kept track of the way each of her students were supposed to go home.
Beautiful.
So she would make sure I got in that van.
Whether you wanted to or not.
I was bored of the routine. And here's good old kid logic again, because many of my classmates would get to walk home. And for some reason,
you wanted to do
I decided that was the cool thing to do. I aspired to walk home. But that wasn't gonna happen with Miss Responsibility Pants botching my whole operation.
Exactly.
So like the little devil I was, I waited until we had a substitute teacher.
Oh.
Alright, here's your evil genius learner's permit, kiddo.
Boy,
School
girls.
ended that day. Instead of getting into the daycare van, I hid behind a brick pillar and waited for the van to leave without me. Funny how my sister never said anything. She must have been like, alright, I guess she died.
Dang it, Rachel.
The van left, I headed off on foot. My house was within walking distance, only about a mile away. But I began to think as I walked that...
Okay, first of all, if you're like 4 years old, then a mile is not walking distance. Like, obviously, 4-year-olds walk a mile, they run miles all the time, because that's what kids do, they run everywhere. I'm not even a kid, and I run everywhere too. Well, I walk and run everywhere. I only run when I want to get somewhere faster, otherwise I'm just walking. But, yeah. What 4-year-old knows how to navigate a mile back to their home? Unless they're, well, you can teach a 4-year-old to walk home. I'm sure it wouldn't be very difficult. You just tell them which ways to go and they'll remember it. But this 4-year-old hasn't been taught to go home. So how's she gonna get home? Okay, let's see.
No one was actually going to be at the house, and I had no way of getting inside.
Oh.
Probably should have thought of that before. So instead of walking home, I made the executive decision
to go to the
daycare instead.
Yep.
Now,
makes sense.
I knew what I was doing was against the rules, because every single time I saw a white vehicle of any sort coming in the distance, I would duck behind a tree or bush as fast as I could. When I was so close that I could see the daycare up ahead, I noticed what was most definitely a white van approaching.
Dude,
the
no.
only tree immediately available was thinner than me. So not only was this tree already insufficient at hiding me, but when I jumped behind it, I didn't have to put the tree between me and the line of sight of the van. So when the daycare staff approached, this is what they saw.
Dude, what the frick?
I'm revoking that evil genius learner's permit. They stopped the van, made me get inside, and guess who I found in the back?
Your sister.
The snitch that ratted me out.
Exactly.
My own sister.
Wait, why didn't you rat her out before she walked over here, bruh? Did you just... Come on, Rachel, have some sense.
How could you? We were brothers, you and I.
No, you're not, sister.
And that is
You're
just
sisters.
a handful of examples of what a little monster I was. I talked to my sister about this script, and she came up with even more stories about this daycare, so if you guys like this video, then maybe there'll be another one in the future. Who knows? Alright, have fun out there, oodle-ollies, and avoid white vans.
Okay.
Thank you so much for tuning in, but now I gotta tune out. Bye!
See ya. Ah, so I see. She's getting some of these story information from her sister. So that makes me assume that she doesn't remember all of it. Jesus Christ, why did that take me so long to get out? You know what? Whatever. If you guys enjoyed this video, then go ahead and like, subscribe, comment, and all that good stuff. I don't have many daycare stories at all because I don't remember much from daycare. Like, it was simple. When I was 4 years old and my mother lived on base, she would take me to the youth development center in the mornings after. Like, she dropped me off at a babysitter's house, a babysitter who was a lady who I probably got my accent from. And then, an hour later, she'd come back, drop me off at my little daycare. We'd do the regular stuff that daycares do, play games, learn colors, dance, and nap. I mean, one time when I was trying to pick up blocks, a girl bit me. That was not... That's pretty much it. I don't have many stories from daycare. Nothing happened. Like, it was daycare. I was just a simple kid who didn't really talk to anybody. So, if you were a simple kid who didn't talk to anybody, then press that like button. Hey, you're loved, you're appreciated, you're gonna do amazing things. Let's make this week great, and I'm out. Peace.